Welcome back to my YouTube channel under Theodore Parker, DIY. I think we have it under Stromboli. But today, we're going to do a cabbage lasagna. And lasagna is like getting this really big comeback because everybody's starting to do lasagnas a little differently. You know, they're doing lasagnas, with different meats and cheeses. They're doing lasagnas vegetarian style. They're even doing lasagnas without noodles. So today, we're going to do a cabbage lasagna. And the cabbage, once it cooks down, has the texture of a noodle, and it's really very comforting. It's going to have the meat, the cheese, but we're going to use a vegan crumble instead of hamburger or instead of any kind of a beef. And then we're going to have the cheese, the cabbage, and the crumble, and you're going to really get a hearty bite from it. About 3 years ago, my wife Elaine, my son Cameron, and my daughter Amber and I decided that we were going to start taking meat out of our diet completely. We do eat seafood, cheese, and eggs, but we eat no red meat, no lamb, no beef, no chicken, no turkey, just seafood, vegetables, eggs, and cheese. So, to make a long story short, we're getting ready to start this cabbage lasagna. I love it. It's like my creation, my baby, and it's so easy to do. It just takes a little bit of chopping and dicing to do. So we're going to start today. And I'm doing a little bit more details in it now because one of my YouTube subscribers said that everybody is not a cook and everybody doesn't know how to chop, dice, whatever the case may be. And I don't know anybody that don't know how to chop and dice, but it could be. So I'm going to go through a process. I'm going to show you a few things as far as chopping, doing a little shredding, and different types of knife skills here this evening. So, we're going to start with one large onion, and we're going to just largely chop this onion up, okay? There's no rhyme, there's no reason to it because the cooking process is going to break it down anyway, so you don't have to be all that exact with your chopping. Did I cut this already? No. Then we're going to, after we get through with this, we're going to start cutting our cabbage. Now our cabbage needs to be washed, and this has already been pre-washed. And we're going to put them in our pot. And this is my Wolfgang Puck pot. I love my Wolfgang Puck. And so first of all, we're going to put a little bit of oil in there. I like to use olive oil, avocado oil, because they're just a healthier oil. So I'm thinking maybe 2 tablespoons of oil. And we're going to turn our fire up a little bit, or our eye up a little bit. And we're going to get our onions to start to cook. Now, we are also getting ready to cut up our cabbage. Now, the cabbage has a core. So as I cut the cabbage, I got to get that core out of there. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other side, or the other half of the cabbage. And this half doesn't have much of a core because of the way I cut it. So your cutting will probably be a little bit irregular depending on the size of a head you got. And I'm thinking maybe a medium head of cabbage. That's all you need. So I'm going to show you how to do the shredding, and I just cut it into shred because you want this to resemble noodles as much as possible. So I'm just cutting it into some shreds, being very careful. Just cut it up in the shreds and get it all. And it's going to cook down faster this way too. We're not going to add any water to the cabbage to cook the cabbage, just the oil, and the cabbage itself will make its own moisture will cook down into the moisture of the cabbage. And it'll get nice and tender that way. If we put too much water in it, it's just going to make it a watery, more of a soupier type of a recipe. And we really want it to be nice and hearty. So when we throw it in our casserole dish, that we can layer it, and it's going to be nice and to the point where we can basically cut it up and serve it. Okay, now we have our cabbage in here, and as you can see, it's all shredded up. So I'm just taking my hands through it, which have been washed, taking my hands through it and kind of breaking it up a little bit, and kind of giving it a toss. I'm going to get my tongs, get the pot on my eye real good, and I would say you would have it on a medium high. And while you have it on the medium high, you want to just be sure to dig down in there, toss the onions around a little bit, and kind of mix the onions and the cabbage together, and let them start to cook down. You can hear it sizzling, you can hear it beginning to pull the moisture from the cabbage and causing the cabbage to sweat. And as you look in there, you can see it getting a little translucent. So we're going to take a little bit of a break. I'm going to go ahead and cook this down the rest of the way, and I'm going to show you more of the cook down process once we get it all cooked up. So we'll be back in a second. Ready? Okay, we're back. Now I want you to see how the cabbage is cooked down. You know, you might get it a little brown, that's okay. But it's nice and tender and translucent. And again, there's no water in here, so you're just getting a nice, tender cabbage. Okay, now I have my seasonings. I have like a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, like 1/8 of a teaspoon of fennel seed, a teaspoon of garlic, a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of sugar. And we're going to throw all that in, and we're going to stir it around, and we're going to reduce the fire a little bit. Now again, you can make yours as tender as you want or as crunchy as you want. If you don't want it to be real tender, that's fine. If you don't want it, this is starting to caramelize a little bit, and if you don't want yours to do that, that's fine. But the more tender, to me, the better, the more heartier, it all melts together really nice with the crumble and everything. So I'm going to get the sauce now. Pause me for a minute, please. And now you just take any store brand, any generic brand. You know, Hunt's has a really good 99-cent can of spaghetti sauce. It comes in all different flavors. You can do 3 cheese. You can do a sausage flavor. Again, I wouldn't do that one because it's got meat in it. But any kind of meatless one, you know, with Parmesan cheese in it and whatnot. So we're going to stir all that in, and we're about finished with this dish. This dish is mediocrely simple. And we're going to add a little Parmesan cheese. And I didn't add that to the recipe that I have typed out for everybody. But we'll fix that. And we're going to do about a teaspoon, maybe 2, of Parmesan cheese, just to give it that real nice Italian flavor profile. And again, I said a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. If you want to add a little bit more, if you want to have a little more bite, to have a little bit more spicy, by all means, add a little bit more. Now we're getting ready to add our crumble in. Now this crumble is a corn crumble. The only place I can get it is Whole Foods. Publix used to carry it, but Whole Foods will always have it. It's the best crumble. Beyond crumble is good as well, but I like the corn better. It just holds up better. It has more of a bite like ground beef, like cooked ground beef, and it's really tasty. And it's going to take on whatever flavor profile you mix it with. So if you're going to try to do it Italian, it's going to take on the Italian flavor. If you want it to have more of an Oriental flair, an Asian flair, then you can, do your Asian flavors and mix it with that, and it'll take on the Asian flavors. Now, I am the type of cook that I'm going to add, and I'm very rarely going to follow any recipe just because I just don't. So I'm going to give you a recipe to follow. You can tweak it any way you want to by the end of the recipe. But me, I gave you a recipe, but I'm going to do some things just a little bit differently because I got to eat this too. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. We're going to take it off the stove, and now we're getting ready to build our casserole dish with the cheese and the lasagna mix. Okay, now we're going to take two different types of cheeses. We're going to take like a yellow Mexican blend, and I think this is cheddar and Monterey. You don't need a whole lot of that. Mozzarella, you're going to need a lot of that because I like my mozzarella. So, what I do is, I take and I start with putting some at the bottom of my casserole dish, and I layer it just like I would layer lasagna. I want you guys to also click like. If you are watching the YouTube channel, just click like and let me start building up my likes on this channel. So I'm going to take a little bit of the yellow cheese. Again, I think I put 2 ounces on the recipe. You can use as much cheese as you want to. More to me, the more the better. The more the better. I love my cheese. So, and my oven is preheated to a 375 degrees. Now when you get through with this, you can take this, make you a little garlic bread. You can do like a nice tossed salad with this. But this is going to be your main entree. And this might be a little bit more than 8 ounces of cheese. But that's the suggested amount that I suggest that you use for you to build your recipe. If you want more, add more. But an 8-ounce bag of cheese goes a long way. A long way. And as you can see, this goes a long way too. You can use a bigger casserole dish as well. But I like to cover mine so that the cheese gets a nice melt on it. I don't really like my cheese to get really like brown or to start to caramelize in the oven. So I try to cover mine so that when it's cooking, it's going to stay nice and creamy, and it's not going to get the browning that, I mean, some people like, but I just don't. So that's my suggestion. If you don't have a top to cover it, you can always cover it with a little aluminum foil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put some more mozzarella on, and as you can see, I'm just layering it. Each layer I'm doing the exact same thing with. And I'm going to take and put a little bit more Parmesan cheese on top. I'm going to put a little bit of red pepper on top just because I want it to have a kick. Just a little, just a dusting. Somebody might say, whoa, that's way too much. But just a little bit. And then I'm going to go over with some Parmesan cheese. and a little bit more Italian seasoning. Out of the way. And I'm going to do just a little dusting more of mozzarella over the top of that. Okay. So as you can see, this didn't take much time at all. Maybe 15 minutes, start to finish. And that's the beauty of using a vegetarian crumble, a meatless item, because you don't have to go through the process of cooking it. And usually what I do is I try to put in my crumble at the very end of the process. This way it doesn't cause the crumble to break down. You'll still get that nice bite to it. So I'm going to pop this in the oven and I'm going to let it cook for a few minutes, and then we're going to come back with the finished product. Okay guys, this is the finished product. So I'm going to cut in, and then you're going to kind of see how it does. So we're going to take a nice little piping hot amount out. And again, it kind of stands up, but it doesn't really stand up exactly like lasagna because again, there's no noodles in it, but it does stand. And we're going to just serve it with a salad. Go ahead and dress that up, and you got a meal here. And again, it's all vegetarian. There's nothing in this but some cheese that has any animal byproducts. So we're going to give it a quick sample, and it's still hot. We always want to sample, and you can see the cheese, you can see the creaminess, you can see how it all came together and how it all melted together. It's delicious. As usual, hearty, flavorful. You get that lasagna taste from the sauce, the cheese, the bite from the cabbage. That's just like a noodle. It's amazing. Again, not a lot of carbs, not a lot of fat, so it's low fat, it's low carb, and it's delicious. Kind of hot though. Wow. You're going to love this recipe. Play with it.
Wrap it up.
Play with it and see what you come up with. Again, guys, thank you. Be sure to click like on the channel. Let me know that you're there. And again, we got more things coming up for you. I got some desserts that are going to be amazing. I got a chili recipe that's all vegetarian chili. That's going to be my next project. And then we're going to do some desserts. Thank you again. Appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. See you soon. Bye.